Yo, welcome back to the garage, guys. Hope you guys found that last video a little helpful for those who are trying to convert their E-Up hardline to Dash 6. It applies the same way if you're trying to go all the way to the tank, but it requires a little bit of a different fitting. But when we go E85 on my red CRX, we'll talk more about that because I actually have all the fittings to do a Dash 6 from the tank, front and front back. So today, I'm not really sure what I have going on. I took yesterday off to really try to fight my axle because it is seized in my hubs, and I need to replace the boots on these because it is completely old, cracked, and torn. The driver's side is not, but you can visibly see all the cracks on the boot itself. And when I did a burnout in this car when I first got it running, I tore the boot, and I'm not 100% sure if I broke the axles too, but they are junk. Yeah, it is. You can see it all jacked up right there, and I couldn't get it off. I didn't want to mess it up because for the H22 in our chassis, you have to use hybrid axles. I believe the passenger side is a 9093 DA, which fits in there perfectly, and the driver's side is a DA outer hub with the Accord inner. So this one right here in hyper extended because I was trying to pull it out and I can't seem to get that to go back in place. So what I'm trying to do is remove the axles so I can remove the boot, obviously replace it with the new one, but get that joint back into its yoke or whatever you want to call those bearings, and then I can put these axles back in. While doing that yesterday, I got a little frustrated because I've tried the heat torch, I've tried WD-40, don't have any PB blaster, nor do I have an impact wrench strong enough to break it loose. So I just kind of shut the garage. I did install the traction bar, went in my room and just edited videos and watched YouTube and did some online searching for some stuff that I need to buy for the car. But obviously I didn't do that because anyways, the edges, I got it completely sanded flat with my belt sander, table sander, and all I really need now is gaskets. I really thought about using a liquid gasket maker for the you know, the spacer and the top half of the intake manifold. I still have one of the bottom gaskets. I may just go to O'Reilly's or AutoZone and get the gasket set. It's like 16 bucks for the whole intake manifold gasket set itself, including the front one. But I don't want to buy it and have to cut it out because of, you know, my modification to the manifold. So may use liquid gasket maker, I'm not sure yet, but I'm not worried about that. What I can possibly do today is strip down this valve cover right here and weld my two bungs on the rear. And this time around for my car, I'm doing it from the rear just because the front is already like too close to the hood, and I don't want it to protrude through the hood. Like, I know the valve cover is already sticking out, but I don't want my fittings to be sticking out as well. You can see right here. I'm gonna do mine on the back, two of them, so that way they can stay under the hood and hopefully not interfere with the intake manifold. But yeah, so get this ready for paint, which is going to be in another video, because when I paint this valve cover, I am also going to be painting the silver EK that I was working on with the blue seats. We're going to be painting his wheels the same color. So I went to the store and got some cat food, but I also drove to different stores to buy some items for my trip to Fontana tomorrow for Drag Racing Nationals. I drove, I think, a good 12 miles today, and all the check engine lights are gone. It's not coming back anymore. If it did, it would have already, so that's good. This one's a lot cleaner than this one, so I may just take this one off and use this one as a spare. Don't worry, I'm gonna buy a new valve cover gasket when the new valve cover goes on. Apparently somebody just dabbed a whole bunch of gasket maker on this old OEM and just reused it, I guess. You can see it right here all over the spark plug grommet. But what I did notice was I pulled this one from the junkyard, right? And it didn't come with a valve cover gasket, but it came with 3 of them, and cylinder 2 didn't have one. And when I pulled this one off, it's funny that cylinder 2 was the one that stayed on the head and did not come off with the valve cover. So I'm just gonna reuse this one for now because I'm not gonna fire it. I just want this to be on here so no debris gets inside, and then I'm gonna clean that one quite a bit and get stripping on this one. So as I was putting all the grommets and stuff back on, I had just touched this corner of the valve cover, and yeah, that just peeled right off, a whole chunk. Probably another time I'll wrinkle black this valve cover again. Yeah, it is dark, and mailman just came. Boom, da-da-dee-da-da. Your boy JBTuned came in clutch, literally clutch, because he sent me a clutch line. He reached out to me, and he's collaborating with us, and he's helping us, the YouTube community, on getting our projects up and going, guys. Huge shout out to JBTuned for you know, reaching out and asking me pretty much if I needed anything for my builds, and I just told him really I just need a clutch line, but that's about it. And he was like, I got you. So huge shout out to JBTuned for the clutch line here, and I am not going to install this now until I get the slave. We'll make a whole video on bleeding the DIY hydro conversion for this car using the JBTuned stainless steel line. So if you guys are looking for any like feed lines, return lines, fuel lines, anything of that nature with braided lines and fittings, I'll put all his information in the description below. Man, JBTuned, you are the real one here today in this video and the next when I get that installed. So truly appreciate it, man. This would definitely come in handy for the hydro conversion for my CRX. Static, what the hell are you doing cleaning this valve cover? Aren't you stripping it anyways? Yes, indeed I am. So what I am doing is I'm cleaning all the dirt that's caked up on the valve cover, like it was on the whole freaking car when I got it. If I was to shoot like paint stripper on here, it's literally just going to sit on the top layer of dust and not really eat through the paint. So what I'm doing right now is just doing a light scrub and get all the dust and dirt broken up off the valve cover, so that way when I spray it on, the liquid, it's gonna eat through the paint and not the dirt. So I've literally only been doing this for like a minute, so I'm gonna rinse it off, and then I'm gonna air dry it, and then I'm gonna torch it a little bit, get it kind of hot. I don't know if the logic works, but get it kind of hot so that way the paint stripper could work faster. I don't know. It's a working, baby. It's a eating out the old coating of the wrinkled black on the valve cover, buddy. Oh yeah, buddy, that thing is lifting. It's lifting up the paint very, very nicely, my friend. Got the valve cover pretty stripped down, and then there were some areas like in the crevices that I couldn't get to. I used a wire wheel. The wire wheel doesn't really hurt the aluminum unless you let it sit there and dig into the aluminum, but it takes off any paint that's still caked on there fairly easy, as long as you run through it fairly fast. But yeah, now I'm gonna go and get my bungs, kind of pick and choose where I want the dash 10s to sit. Might throw my intake manifold back on, grab some dash 10s somewhere, I don't know if I have any extra, and ensure that it clears my fuel rail and stuff before I mark it out on here and start my drilling. So I think I figured out where I want my bungs at. This line right here, where this grommet sits at, that's where the inside baffle starts at. So as long as I'm between the top of the valve cover and this line, I should be good, and I don't have to baffle it on the inside with another piece of aluminum plate. So I'm gonna have one somewhat right here and one right here somewhere. I want to make sure that it's like symmetrical on the valve cover. Like it has to be centered to me. If it's off or something like this, it will kind of bother me a lot. So somewhere like this is where I want to have it, and it's way up high on the valve cover, so I'm not even going to throw the intake manifold back on to make sure it clears. So I had Alex and Melly come by for like an hour or so. They were in town. They live an hour from me, and they are also members of the Weekend Player Car Club that we are in. So I was chopping it with them for a little bit and kind of talk about what's going to happen when IBOC comes around in Fontana. We spoke about, you know, just who's going, what cars are going, and my goal is the K Turbo Wagon is going to be up and running with the new motor, and I'm going to take it out there and also bring my slicks because they are now doing drag racing, and that would be pretty cool. So I had already drilled out the holes for the valve cover. I already cleaned up my tools. I just got to move the table inside, close the hood, close the garage, and then I am going to get started with welding these bungs on. This is cleaned to the best of my abilities, but the only thing is that inside the baffle it still has oil, so I'm not sure how that's going to react with welding, but I am going to try my best to clean it with acetone and get it as clean as I can before I lay any type of welds on here. So I'm going to finish cleaning up, and I'm supposed to be going bowling right now. I think that's who just texted me, because I totally forgot. Yep, it is. So, shit. So, I've just decided to go bowling instead, because we go like once a week, every, I don't know, week or every 2 weeks. But I just wanted to put a little bit more miles on the CRV to see if that check engine light will come back or not. So far it hasn't, and it's already been about 18 miles. The suspension noise is a lot worse on the freeway. Holy crap. It definitely sounds a lot like the Lynx for sure. But yeah, I'll address the Lynx or the suspension components another day. I now know for sure, like, it does sound a lot like the Sway Lynx, but yeah, I'll see you guys at the bowling alley. There you go. Seven, RJ? Seven? See? Seven. Oh, RJ!
I got work at 6 p.m. I don't have work. Give me.
Perfect too, the light just came on. Alright, RJ.